Okay, folks, we're here live with Mr. Zeke and Mr. Big D Sizemore, and we're going to kick things off, I believe, with some of the news that seem to be heating up in NASCAR. What do you think about it, Mr. Big D?
Well, as we stand right now, we got Napa and 5 Hour Energy trying to lead the cowardly cars of Michael Waltrip Racing, who was fined $300,000 for being the cowards that they are. Mike Hilton says in an interview that they try their best to police the industry. You're not doing a very good job.
The sport.
The sport. The
Correct.
so-called sport in which they jump in a car and move their hands around for 400 miles. And then they get awarded with a big check. And let me tell you this. Why don't NASCAR people, why do they get paid more than a sport that actually takes skill to do something? I could get in a NASCAR and Sprint Cup Series car and just outrun anybody out there right now. I mean, I could. I'm taller than half of them, you know. And
What do you think about that, Zeke? You agree? Mr. Big D basically starting off take the checker at a lot of races.
Could you have the skill enough to go around the track like
A cup driver.
it's not hard turning left every turn. And I'll say this, Mr. Mike Hilton, I presume, the same guy who announced the death of Dale Earnhardt. I think you might have just lied about Dale Earnhardt so he could take a nice Hawaiian vacation. Let me tell you something, Mike Hilton. You might need some Just for Men the way your hair's going. It must be very stressful knowing that you're about to lose two of the biggest sponsors in your sport. Because right now, all your best drivers in the chase can do is be little crybabies and suck up to you to tell the truth, to not tell the truth to the people who respect your sport. You lying goofball.
Or are you upset that Jeff Gordon didn't make the chase?
Yes, I am, and I'm upset that stupid NASCAR does not allow him back into the chase. I think it is retarded. I think it is stupid, and I personally think he should sue NASCAR. The only reason that NASCAR is not allowing him in is so they can keep their sponsors with Michael Waltrip Racing, the biggest, suckiest driver that's ever stepped foot on a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series track, Michael Waltrip.
Zeke.
You know, it's going to be strange not seeing Jeff Gordon in a Sprint Cup race chase.
A chase.
It's not,
He's still going to be racing. He's just not
mean,
going to be in the chase.
I know, that's just going to be very unusual.
So are you disappointed?
I could take it either way, and I'm still picking Jimmy Johnson to win it when it's all said and done.
You know, Jimmy Johnson's not out of it. I agree with Jimmy Johnson. The chase is a beast of its own.
Yeah.
They've had some really bad races, but they could really come back. Right now, he's second in points.
Yeah.
Matt Kenseth is leading. He's going in with a slight edge.
Yeah.
So right now, it's anybody's chase, but I certainly agree with you. I would not count the 48 team out. I really do believe that they're still poised to take the championship. You agree with that, Mr. Big D?
I hope so. I hate their guts. I hate Jimmy Johnson. But I hate Matt Kenseth just as much. I can't stand that guy.
So you're still behind Hendrick
Yeah, I'm behind Hendrick. I'm going to go for Casey Cannondale Jr.
over Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I hate Jimmy Johnson. But if he's the last one that can win and he's a Hendrick driver, I'm going to go for it. Jeff Gordon's my main driver. That's
And
that.
more about NASCAR released this. NASCAR, the primary sponsor of Napa Auto Parts and 5 Hour Energy, are evaluating respective relationships with Michael Waltrip Racing in the wake of penalties levied against NASCAR Sprint Cup Series organization. That is big news. That is really, really big news. So everybody has basically come to the conclusion that Clint Bowyer's spin was intentional.
Yeah.
Because he's a coward.
I take it that Mr. Big D, you think his spin was intentional.
Oh, yeah, he's a coward. He's the biggest coward that's ever raced this Sprint Cup Series car. Why don't you stick to commercial advertisement, Mr. Clint Bowyer, advertising your 5 Hour Energy crap that don't even work. I could chug a gallon of that stuff and it wouldn't do me any good, man. It wouldn't do me any good. Clint Bowyer, you're the biggest false advertiser ever. Stop sucking up to sponsors and be the man you really are, if you've got the goods.
How do you go about policing NASCAR? How would you go about doing that, though? Because, you know, Eagles and there's going to be temperature going to flare.
They're just the best you can. Some things comes up and NASCAR basically has to react the best way that it can.
They have to.
They have to. So it's not an easy task for NASCAR.
No.
It really isn't. And who really knows what happens inside that car? like Mr. Hilton said, cars spin out. We have cautions. It was very suspicious. Everything involved, everybody basically has concluded that it was intentional and it was cheating. But there is no saying in NASCAR, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Do you agree with that, Mr. Big D?
Cheaters, they always win the battle. They always say, cheaters never win. Cheaters always win. Let me tell you something. Cheaters won't win the war. All right? Here's what's going to happen. All right? That little punk, Clint Bowyer, is going to get his jaw broke by somebody before the end of this year. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Jeff Gordon wreck him and just destroy his car.
If you remember last year, they had a really run in. It may have caused, it really did hurt Clint's, chances of a championship last year.
And Clint had to do a little crybaby move. And he had to wreck Jeff Gordon because he didn't get what he wanted. Well, let me tell you something, Clint Bowyer. Let me tell you one more thing, because how bad you suck. Please leave NASCAR to the people who can actually drive. Please, just please. I mean, you have the ugliest car, the ugliest face, you have horrible talent. You can't do anything. I mean, honestly, when has Clint Bowyer ever win a race? I mean, you might win like one a year. He gets into the chase because Martin Truex Jr. pushes him the whole race. Good Lord. What has NASCAR turned into? Get rid of this stupid chase format so people who actually has talent can get into the contendership.
I personally hope that Napa and 5 Hour Energy stay with Michael Waltrip Racing. NASCAR needs sponsors. And unfortunately, to disagree with Mr. Big D, I have used 5 Hour Energy a whole lot. I really have. So I really do hope everybody keeps their sponsors because, I want to keep the sport going and everything. So, anything that you want to add to that, Zeke?
Well, it's a money-driven sports society we're living in. And I believe that costs money. They lose money when they lose sponsors. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And that's going to really put a crutch or put them in a devastating position.
It will. So I hope they don't lose their sponsors. I know everything gets... And there's a lot of pressure to win to keep those sponsors.
There's 3
So I'm not saying I wouldn't succumb to maybe getting an edge. Mr. Big D, any closing thoughts before the NASCAR part is over?
I got a couple more things to say.
A couple more things.
Okay.
Well, how's Mr. Gordon going to do in the rest of the season? Is he going to finish like 13th? Will he be number 1 with drivers outside the chase?
I don't care about Jeff anymore. He's still my driver. I want him to win, but he's not in the chase. So I'm going to focus on my other Hendrick drivers I've got to back up on.
Kane and Jr.
Yeah, that's right. So, I will be against Jimmy Johnson for all odds. I'll be against Jimmy Johnson. Don't worry about that. I ain't going to go for that guy. I hope he loses his sponsorship and lives in a box on the side of the road. But, for everybody else, good luck. Except Clint Bowyer and his sucky little team who can't do crap.
Of course, Smoke got hurt, though. Smoke got hurt.
Yes, he's got a broken leg. He's out.
That's what he gets for driving like a retard.
You're not a Smoke fan?
Nope. Never was, never will be.
We all have our drivers. We all, pull for this driver, pull for that. And I would love to meet any driver. It's amazing to me. When we go to a short track race to watch these guys, how they drive, my hats off to every single driver out there. I think they're pretty amazing.
Clint Bowyer better hope he never meets me.
You ain't got much room with so many cars. You have to kind of maneuver.
I couldn't even imagine. I could not imagine doing what any of those drivers
My nerves
do.
would be shot if it was me. My nerves would be shot.
My heart lies with the 78 car. I'm a Kurt Busch fan.
Yeah.
That's very unpopular, I know. My second driver is his little brother, Kyle. But I would love to meet any of the drivers. I would. It's fantastic how they drive. It's pretty awesome. Mr. Big D.
I would like to meet any of them, too. I would, except Clint Bowyer. Because he's a cowardly, sucky, retarded, ugly face punk.
Zeke, you like to add anything?
I would too. Like to pick their brain about how they do that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, how do you do that?
They'll listen to the spotter. It's just amazing how they do
it. It would be easy to pick Clint Bowyer's brain because there's barely anything there.
It's a wonder that these people in the pit row get killed or something.
You know, I'm sensing a little hostility from Mr. Big D
Yeah.
toward Clint Bowyer.
I just want to mention one more thing. Clint Bowyer runs like a girl. And he is probably won't be racing. He'd probably be in ICU if the police hadn't restrained Jeff Gordon to his trailer last year.
You know, pit road can be dangerous.
Absolutely. That's why they got a speed limit.
I know, yeah.
Absolutely. Did Clint have his helmet off last year? I think he did take his helmet off.
Yeah, he did.
Did Jeff Gordon?
Yeah, he had his helmet.
Oh, he had his helmet off? Really gonna... So you thought, well...
Well,
you
Jeff
know,
Gordon, they had their crew come over there and fight with him, and they pinned Jeff Gordon up against the wall. He was never even in it. And they threw him in the trailer. And then there's like 10 cops standing beside the trailer, and when Bowyer tried to get in there, the cops, restrained him. And luckily for him, they did.
And luckily,
Yes.
they were there for his protection, I'm sure, right?
Exactly. I was there for Clint Bowyer's protection and the protection of Clint Bowyer's crew, because if you would have let Jeff Gordon out there, he would have beat his head in.
So Jeff Gordon, you think can really handle himself?
Jeff
and
Gordon
if
can
things got physical.
Jeff Gordon could probably beat up anybody in NASCAR, except Kevin Harvick. I'd take Kevin Harvick in a fight against anyone in the sport.
I have a question before we move on to the next segment if we got time.
Kevin Harvick trains with Jimi Hendrix. Or Johnny Hendrix. Not Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. He's a guitar player. He trains with Big Rig.
Yeah. He does train with Big Rig. No joke.
The same track they use for NASCAR, that's the same used for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Same track or is a different track?
Yeah.
It depends if they're both scheduled.
Okay.
If it's both scheduled, like the trucks run and nationwide runs at some tracks that the Cup Series don't.
How do y'all feel, both of you, about the truck? Do you like the truck racing?
I do.
I hate
like to. I like to watch any race.
Yeah.
Mr. Big D, you don't like them?
Nope. Another disappointing move by Mike Hilton.
Yeah.
The owner of the Sprint Cup Series and all the other NASCAR series.
I do. I like them. I like the trucks. I like nationwide, and of course, I like the Cup.
I'm gonna say one more thing. That's it. There's one more thing on this horrible topic about Clint Suckier. Is that
Shoot there, Mr. Big D.
the Truck Series is the Suck Series. That is all I've got to say.
And that's all you got to say.
The Truck Series is the Suck Series.
The prize money, same prize money for the NASCAR, or same prize money as truckers, or different prize money?
No, you got the trucks, nationwide, and Cup.
Yeah.
That's the three top tiers in NASCAR.
The prize money is different.
Yes,
Okay.
Cup is the top.
I see.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is different.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks everybody for listening, and that concludes the segment for NASCAR.